He's won multiple awards, including Mental Health Advocate of the Year 2021 and Community Citizen of the Year in 2018. And he's very much driven by his own personal motto of bringing people together for better. So can I ask you to put your hands together for Nick Hudson?
Hi everyone, great to be here this morning. How many push-ups do you think you can do? 1, 4, 3, I need a higher number than 3, 10, 20, what about 100? Sure? What about 1,000? No? What about 3,000 over 24 days? That's another sure over here. That's what we challenge people to do as part of the push-up challenge this year. We challenge people to do a lot of push-ups in a short period of time to raise awareness and funds for mental health. And I want to tell you a bit about the push-up challenge and the journey of how we got to where we are today. Check out this guy. Look familiar? This photo was taken a couple of decades ago now. Fashion's changed a little bit since then. Better or worse, I don't know. Up to you to judge. I grew up in Melbourne. All right, I'm from the suburbs, Melbourne. I studied engineering. Okay, I'm not a marketer. I'm not in comms. In fact, being here today, I've got to be honest with you, I feel like a bit of an imposter. All right, I'm an engineer. I'm expecting someone to come along and tap me on the shoulder shortly and say, "Oh, sorry, we got the wrong Nick Hudson." But through my skills as engineering and numbers and all that sort of stuff, my passion for mental health, I developed this push-up challenge thing on the side, which I want to talk you through today. Being an engineer, I'm big into numbers, big into sort of technical stuff. That's my day job. But on the side, I like to do other things as well. Pretty big in the community, pretty big with my Surf Lifesaving Club, into fitness, into tech, and thanks to my dad's own journey with mental health, I'm into mental health as well. So you know these things you do on the side in life? You've got your day job and you've got these sort of hobbies or things you do out of hours. Well, for me, they combined to form what would be the push-up challenge. All right, so these skills that I'm building on the side over time would allow me to bring this event to life, which I didn't know over time as I'm developing these skills, but eventually it took me there, sort of a Venn diagram of skills, if you will. Yeah? All right, so the push-up challenge. Who did it this year? Hands up. 1, 2. Lots of room for opportunity, lots of room for growth here today. Good news is there's a good 10 months to the next event, so plenty of time to train for the next push-up challenge. So the push-up challenge combines physical health, mental health, and connection to have people coming together for better, to do good stuff for mental health. It has participants completing 3,139 push-ups this year over 24 days, or I think it was 23 days, to represent a number of Australians who tragically took their own lives. Okay, so the event has a lot of meaning. It's free to take part in, it's a bunch of fun, promotes fitness, connection, helps destigmatise mental health, and all that good stuff. All right, so so it's got all these sort of good things bound into its DNA. Look, if you want to know more about the event, I could talk about it for hours, but best check the website for stuff in there if you're interested. What I'm here to talk to you about is what I've learned through the push-up challenge with fundraising and innovation and entrepreneurship and all that sort of stuff, and how it's grown over time and my journey through its growth. So the push-up challenge started, where are we, 6 years ago now, with myself and 3 mates wanting to get our beach bodies back for summer. And we challenged ourselves to smash out a ton of push-ups, actually 3,000 push-ups over a month, just for fun. And it was kind of cool. We were doing the push-ups, we were having chats, staying connected. It worked really well. But there was no good app on the app stores to allow us to bank our push-ups. We found some clicker thing, we were screenshotting it and chucking it into a messenger chat. It was really awkward. So I thought, you know what, stuff that. I'm going to develop my own app. All right? So I developed my own app to support us with this push-up challenge thing. And this is what the app version 1 looked like. What are your thoughts? Why are you laughing? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. It's an absolute piece of shit. And it was. But you know what? It worked. And from that first version of the app, from the MVP, if you will, the event grew. From 4 mates just having fun with it, to year 2 where we had 1,000 people taking part in the push for better mental health. 1,000 people taking part, and collectively we fundraised $50,000 for mental health, an area I'm very passionate about. Now, I was stoked by this, and so were my mates. Well, oh, this is amazing. Look, 1,000 people across Australia, including one guy in the Northern Territory. So I could say it's across Australia. If any of you are that guy from the Northern Territory, let me know, because I'm very thankful for that guy. So great success in year 2. We wanted to celebrate. Now, what do a bunch of guys do to celebrate success? Drink beer. Where do you drink beer? Pub. Where's the pub? Bali. Yeah? So myself and my mates went to Bali for a bit of a celebration. I was out there in the surf, paddling along, and I'm like, oh, I'm really unfit. But, oh, well, I don't know why I'm so unfit at the moment, but I'm just really unfit. Oh, well. Got back to Perth, and a little bit hungover from the Bali trip, and I decided to go get a coffee. All right, first day back at work, went and grabbed a coffee. Now, I never drink coffee. Went and grabbed a coffee, had a sip. My heart started going nuts. Bouncing around in my chest, these weird pains, bad times. Went and saw a specialist who said, Nick, your heart's stuffed, you're going to need another one. I didn't like that news so much, so I went and saw another specialist and asked for advice. Second specialist said, Nick, your heart's stuffed, you're going to need another one. What do 2 specialists know? Went and saw a third specialist who said, Nick, stop wasting your money on specialists. Your heart's stuffed, go and get it fixed. You know, it turns out it wasn't the whole heart that needed to be replaced, but part of it. And so I went and had my heart fixed. Now, that was a depressing time for me. Being big into community things, being big in exercise, hearing that your heart's not good, like your core, you know, I went downhill. I got depressed. Started rejecting my friends, started rejecting my family. And for a couple of months there, leading up to the surgery, I was in a bad way. Now, the good news is the surgery went well. The surgeon went in, did his thing. I was asleep the whole time. It's pretty easy for me. And he fixed me up. Here's a photo of my brother and my parents, who are smiling a little bit too much in this photo, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. So the surgery went really well, but coming out of it, I was still quite depressed. So leading into it, it was in a bad way. Coming out of it, I was in a bad way as well. And there, stuck in bed, because you've got to learn to use your heart again, you got to do short walks. You're spending bulk time in bed. All right, and there I was recovering. I'd finished Netflix. I was like, what else am I going to do? I'm depressed. I was in Melbourne, which is where the surgeon was, away from my friends and family who were in Perth. I was like, well, what am I going to do with this time? Okay, let's turn this depression into like a force for good. Try and use it for good. And let's build this push-up challenge, which had a bit of luck, a lot of luck, some good results this year, into something else for next year. Let's give it a good crack. And back then, there weren't all the fancy online tools that there are now. Maybe there were, but I just didn't know about them. So I went about building the app, building the website from scratch. And it was freaking hard. Here's me, chest still partially sliced open, getting letters from lawyers saying, stop doing that stuff. The charity partner the charity that I partnered with pulled out 2 months to go, or a few months to go before the next event. And the website, which I was building from scratch, didn't work at all. It was panic time. It was a difficult time. But I pulled it off. And in year 3, we had close to 50,000 participants who collectively raised around $2.5 million for mental health. Absolutely stoked. And it just grew from there. The year after that, raised $5 million. And this year, the June event, we had over 150,000 participants who collectively raised over $10 million for mental health. How cool is that? Well, thank you. That's very cool. And look, thank you. So look, again, I'm an engineer. I can talk about numbers for days. My team hate me talking about numbers, but I love them. But it's the stories which really keep us going. And we get so many great stories from participants about the event, including this one from Motiata, who lost her brother to suicide a few years ago and takes part in the event to recognise her brother. We get heaps of great stories like that. So the event's done amazing things over the last 3-4 years in particular. Over 250,000 participants. So what's that? About 1 in 100 Australians taking part in the event. Collectively banked over 600 million push-ups and raised over $26 million for mental health. Some big numbers up there. The 600 million I'm particularly proud of, because if you break that down, that's the equivalent of around 20 push-ups per Australian. So I like to think that the event has increased the health of the average Australian by 20 push-ups. Not the people in this room, clearly, from the hands raised before, but I know you can't quite look at it like that, but that's one way of looking at it. Sweet, so that's my story of the push-up challenge. Again, I'm a bit of an imposter, I'm not a fundraiser, I'm usually an engineer. So I'd like to share some learnings with you about the push-up challenge, about innovation and entrepreneurship, some learnings that I've had over the last 6 years since founding the event. Now, everyone loves a list, right? Top 5 reasons to do top 6. So I've got 5 things here which I want to share with you about entrepreneurship and innovation that I've been through over the last 6 years. You can apply these to work, you can apply these to fundraising, you can apply these to stuff out of work, and maybe to relationships as well. I'm not sure if that, we'll try that, see if it works like that. All right, so 5 things for you to consider as you leave here today. Again, at work and maybe out of work as well. Cool, so my list. Number 1, just start. All right, if you've got an idea at home or at work or whatever, get into it. Remember, an idea by itself is worth nothing until it's acted upon. Now, being in the sort of startup area, the innovation area, and meeting other people at like workshops and conferences and all that, like, oh, Nick, I've got this great idea, I want to do this. It's like, cool, have you started? No, don't really, a bit scared. Come on, mate, get into it. Or others, even worse, they're like, I've got this great idea, but I can't tell anyone because it's such a good idea. It's like, ugh. And to be honest, I was a little bit like this at the start as well. I didn't know what to share. I was a bit scared people were going to steal stuff. But you find you start socialising your idea, start getting it out there, and the universe just returns good stuff to you. I remember once I was out for a burger with mates who are not in fundraising, not in engineering, completely different worlds. And I was telling them about this event, this is years ago, about this push-up challenge event, and they just made an off-the-cuff comment about some dimension of the event, completely changed the direction of the event. It's like, oh my God, that is a great idea. I should let that guy know, actually, just how influential he was over the push-up challenge. So an idea is worth nothing until it's acted upon. And acting upon things can be hard, but it can also be easy. You need to consider your MVP, right? Your minimum viable product. Who here's heard that term before? The MVP. So what's the cheapest way, what's the most basic way of getting your idea off the ground? And it doesn't have to be an app, right, or a website, something like that. It can be some other thing. Right? What's the easiest way to get your thing off the ground? Okay, it doesn't need to be pretty, doesn't need to be perfect, you just need to start. All right? So number 1, just start. An idea by itself is worth nothing until it's acted upon. Second thing, set yourself a goal. Who here's heard of that SMART acronym? Hands up, heads nodding. Yeah, what is it? Specific, measurable. Yeah, scrap that. Scrap it. Well, actually, keep some components, but remember this bit here. All right, and it's going to make some of you sweat, and I'm okay with that. Set yourself a goal and give yourself not quite enough time to get it done. All right, so that's smart, realistic. Ugh, this is not realistic. Why do you think this is important? Why do you think you should not give yourself enough time to get the thing done? Urgency? Someone else? Yes?
People work well under pressure.
People typically work well under some amount of pressure. Yep.
You'll make it happen.
You'll make it happen. You cut out the shit. Oh, I've got to make this pretty. I've got to do this. No, you don't have time for that. You've got to make it happen. All right? It's not going to be perfect. That's okay. All right? So set yourself a goal and give yourself not quite enough time to do it. Setting yourself a goal, putting it out there to the universe, saying, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to run a marathon by this date. Or I'm going to, achieve this thing, whatever, by that date. Tell your partner. Tell your friends. Tell your cat. All right? Put it on social media. Get the world to keep you honest about it. And just remember that perfection will be your enemy. You've got two choices with the thing you want to do. Again, at work or at home or wherever, whatever part of your life. You've got two choices. You can have the result perfect or you could have the result done. But it can't be both. So what are you going to do? Right? Consider this social media tile up here to promote the event. What do you notice about it? It's a mistake. Does it matter? No, maybe, probably not. All right? Just freaking get it up there. The amount of time, I don't know, myself, my team spend agonizing over a single post and a single EDM. It's like, come on, just get it out. All right? So perfection will be your enemy. All right, so 2 things. An idea is worth nothing unless acted upon. Second thing, set yourself a goal and give yourself not quite enough time to get it done. Third thing, no excuses. Everyone has the same amount of time in their day. It's about how you choose to use that time. Who here watches Netflix? Come on. Disney, Stan, Prime. Yeah. Who has not put their hands up? A few. Most of you did put your hand up to the first series of questions. If you tell me you don't have time, that's bullshit. Right? You have time to get it done. It's how you choose to use that time. Something that annoys me with my friends. Can I just whinge for a second? Something annoys me with my friends. Like I call them and they take a while to call me back or whatever. And they tell me, Nick, I'm sorry, I didn't have time to call me back. Bullshit. You had time. You just chose to spend your time doing something else. All right? So if you really want to get your thing done, again, be at work, fundraising, or at home, or whatever, make the time to get it done. Look at what other time you have. Everyone's got the same amount of time. So it's about how you use that time. Make sense? Yeah? Is everyone nodding like, yeah, we get this? Or any epiphanies in here? Maybe? I don't know. Sweet. 4th thing out of the 5 things. Know your niche. Fundraising, this is really important. Okay? Use science to work out and to prove what your niche is. You should understand your niche really, really well. Who here thinks they get their niche in their workplace, their clients, their main super fans? Only a few hands. Is that because, why is that? No, really? Yeah, okay. Well, massive opportunity then. So who is your niche? Who's your customer out there? Who's your client? Who are you really appealing to? When was the last time you spoke to them? Texted them, emailed them, caught up for a coffee, etc. The power of social media these days, we can really prove our niche, right? Who's clicking on our ads? What are their interests? What are their genders? What's their gender, etc. All right? So use science to prove your niche. Number 5, this is the last one. This is my favorite. Embrace failure. Who here is scared of failure? Only a few hands up. Lies. All right? When you're trying something new, you want to fail hard and fail early. What do you think I mean? What do you think is the importance of failing early? Just that? You can correct things next time. Someone else over here? Yep, that's good. Beg your pardon? Learn, yep. Someone else? You'll lose less. Yeah, lose less money, lose less energy. The sooner, like, say you're at a bar. Who here's single, by the way? Any single people in the audience? Is this the wrong audience? A few people? All right. For those of you who aren't single, remember back to when you're single and you're out at the bar or wherever people go to find single people. Right? And you see someone who's really attractive, you can and ah about them. By the way, you've got a smorgasbord of single people at this bar, say. And you see one person that's quite attractive, and a few people who are like moderately attractive, and what? Is this inappropriate? It's fine, it's fine. What do? Do you like and ah about it and go, oh, you know, I've only at the bar for an hour, so I'm going to leave it to the last minute and then finally talk to the person who's really attractive to me? Or do you go up and talk to them straight away? Oh, actually, the person's a bit of a doofus. No, I'm not attracted to them. I'm going to go up to the next person. So we're going to get in there early and fail early. Work out that that's not going to work for you as quickly as you can so you can put your energy into the next thing. Next person, or you know what I'm talking about, right? Note to self, don't use that example going forward. Fail early, so you're not putting too much energy into that pathway. So you're going to move on to the next pathway, into the next thing. All right, what about failing hard? What do you think I mean by that? Let's forget the last analogy. What do you think I mean by failing hard? Someone over there. Someone over here. Yes, sir. Yes, you get over your own ego, absolutely. So you can move on with it. Someone else? Something about passion, again? Hit it with a lot of passion. And something over here? Give it your best shot. Why is that important? You don't want to regret it, right? You don't want to second guess yourself in a day, a week, a month, a year's time, and then come back to it. Oh, I tried this, but I didn't give it a good crack, so I'm going to give it another shot. No. Give it your best shot so you don't come back to it again in the future. Because you don't want to be wasting that time. You want to really test it. Okay, does it work? No, sort of. No, really work it. It could have worked because of this, that, and the other. No. Prove to yourself that it doesn't work so you can put it to bed.